my God, I'm so happy there's stairs in this event. Last event that I was in, I forced myself up with these heels and then jumped off. And then this lady's like, do you know there were stairs back there? I was like, oh, thanks. Hello, I just want to thank Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so honored. And my story is about a girl that works at Pambiche. Have you guys been to Pambiche? Oh my God. I really want to thank the owners of Pambiche. They're so nice, and they were so supportive with my transformation at Pambiche. So they're really gay-friendly. I know there's some restaurants where there's a lot of people that are not really accepted. I mean, it seems like Portland is free, it's open, it's, keep Portland weird, everyone accepts everyone. Not really. There's certain places where you don't. So Pambiche is a really good and happy, warm, gay-friendly place. Now, come to Pambiche, and you'll totally see this Latina Gisella walking down back and forth that aisle, serving fish, back and forth, and literally she's serving fish. The pescado con coco is really good, and the pescado enchilado is really good as well. Well, Gisella started working there like 7 years ago, and she started with her transformation there. So she was really nervous, and first of all, she was really happy that the owners were really supportive. But they actually gave her a heads up. You're like, okay, you're going through your transformation, and I just want you to be aware and be ready, because there is going to be a lot of people that come here, and they're going to judge you. They're going to talk just like everywhere else. And also, the back of the house, the kitchen, they're not going to be used to working with this sort of they're not going to get used to you, because they're so used to seeing you as someone else. And most of you know that restaurants usually have a lot of Latino people working in the back. So at Pambiche, we have Mexican, we have El Salvadorian, we have Guatemala, we have Ecuador. So they're not used to seeing a trans woman working at an event, like at a restaurant or just anywhere in public, because in their eyes, they're used to seeing trans women as street workers. And so it was a really learning experience for me, and it was really a learning experience for them, because I educated them in a way, because every time they'll see me, they'll be like, oh, ¿tú trabajas aquí? Like, you work here? I'm like, sí, aquí trabajo. They're like, oh, in my country, girls like you don't work at restaurants, they work on the streets. I'm like, well, I'm here to change that. So I'm here to tell you that it's okay to be who you want to be happy, and I'm accepted, and I want you to be okay with that, and just don't look at me different. I'm a girl, and here I am. So that was a really challenging. So the good thing about it is that a lot of the workers that work with me had to adjust to that change, and now they are so awesome, and so they're just awesome. They love me to death, and they always love working with me, so I'm really happy with that. And then now, the other challenge, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with the challenge from the front part of the house, so customers, guests. It was really hard, because it's really hard for a trans woman to get a job in any place, anywhere. So I was really grateful to be working at Pambiche. Yeah, it's really hard for trans women. I applied to other places, and people just look at you up and down. It's really, really hard. So, there's good stories and there's funny stories. I'll say the funny stories, because the sad stories kind of get to me, So, at Pambiche, we do wear these shirts, and different shirts are really bright, and certain shirts have different meanings. And there's one shirt that I have, says chupa la caña, which means suck on the sugar cane. So I'm walking around with my shirt, and then this gentleman asked me, what does your shirt say? I'm like, oh, this? I'm like, it says chupa la caña. He's like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, suck on the sugar cane. And he's like, am I supposed to be wearing that for you? And I was like, oh, not really, but you can wear one. You can buy one if you like. So it's just, you have to deal with these kind of things. Or sometimes people will be drinking a mojito. Usually our mojitos have sugar canes on them. And usually Pambiche is really busy. So I'm always running around back and forth. And sometimes I'm not thinking right. And a customer will stop me and be like, excuse me, ma'am, how do I eat this? And I'm like, oh, it's sugar cane. You just suck and chew, but don't swallow. And they kind of look at me like, What? I'm like, you suck and chew, don't swallow. I'm like, it's really stringy, so you just suck the juice out and just don't swallow it because it's really stringy. It gets stuck in your throat. And you're like, oh. So then later, after I pick up the tab, the phone number's on there. I'm like, oh, sure, thanks. Uh, so, I mean, it's really, really awesome working at a nice place. You get to deal with the good things and the bad things. Sometimes you're serving a table of 4, and then there's 2 gentlemen and their spouses, and there you are, here I am taking their orders. And sometimes they're so rude because you're like taking someone's order, and then yet you can see the other women talking to the other women. Oh yeah, she used to be a dude. Oh, she used to be a guy. I'm like, at least wait till I'm done. You can start talking about me, So it's just difficult and different, but I mean, you just have to deal with these things in order to be happy. So the point of my story is just be happy, be who you want to be. There's going to be all these struggles, especially for trans women, that it's so hard to find a job and you have to deal with all these critics and all these obstacles that happen. It's just keep walking forward and be happy. And if you see a trans woman that's working at a restaurant or anything, just give her an extra 5 or 10 because she's probably saving for her boobs or anything, okay? Thank you, that's my story.